Most people have a stinging nettle story. A childhood hike where you stumbled into a patch. A garden corner you learned to avoid. The sting is immediate, sharp, and genuinely unpleasant. And it makes complete sense that we've given this plant a very wide berth. But here's a question worth sitting with. Why did humans in dozens of different cultures across multiple continents over thousands of years go out of their way to harvest this plant, cook with it, make fabric from it, and use it as medicine? People don't do that with things that aren't useful. The answer says a lot about how much nutritional value we've quietly left behind. Stinging nettle, it turns out, is one of the most protein-rich and mineral-dense plants growing freely in the temperate world. And the sting disappears completely the moment you apply heat. Today we're going to cover the history, the science, and the practical side. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to go from avoiding nettles to actually cooking with them. Stinging nettle, Urtica dioica, has been documented as a food, fiber, and medicinal plant for at least 3,000 years. Ancient Egyptians used nettle preparations for joint pain. Roman soldiers stationed in cold northern climates reportedly beat themselves with nettle branches, a practice called urtication, to generate warmth and stimulate circulation in freezing conditions. The plant's fiber has long been recognized as comparable in quality to linen. During both World Wars, when cotton imports were severely disrupted, German and British governments turned to nettle as a textile source. Surviving WWI German military uniforms were found to contain up to 85% nettle fiber. This wasn't a desperate improvisation. It was a return to a material people had used for centuries before cotton took over. As a food, stinging nettle has been a staple across northern and eastern Europe for centuries. Nettle soup was common in Scotland and Ireland during leaner seasons. In Turkey, the Caucasus, and across Central Asia, it remains a traditional spring green today, cooked into soups, stuffed pastries, egg dishes, and rice. In Italy, nettle risotto and nettle pasta are still found on restaurant menus. This is not a fringe survival food. It's a mainstream ingredient across much of the world. Its decline in English-speaking Western countries mirrors the broader 20th century shift away from wild and foraged foods, as industrialized agriculture made cultivated vegetables cheap, uniform, and year-round. The plant didn't become less nutritious. We simply stopped looking for it. The protein content of stinging nettle is genuinely impressive. By dry weight, nettle leaves contain between 25 and 35% protein, a figure that rivals chickpeas and lentils and exceeds most vegetables by a significant margin. The protein contains all essential amino acids, though as with most plant proteins, not in the same ratios as animal sources. Iron content is another standout. A 100-gram serving of cooked nettles provides roughly 1.5 to 2 milligrams of iron. Crucially, nettle is also naturally high in vitamin C. And vitamin C dramatically increases the absorption of plant-based iron. This combination makes nettle particularly valuable in plant-based diets, where iron bioavailability is a common concern. Beyond protein and iron, nettle is a good source of calcium, magnesium, potassium, and vitamins A and K. Its overall mineral density is higher than the majority of cultivated leafy greens. It also contains polyphenols, plant-based antioxidant compounds, at levels higher than many fruits and vegetables. On the clinical research side, multiple controlled trials have looked at freeze-dried nettle leaf for seasonal allergies, hay fever in particular. Several studies have found meaningful reductions in symptom severity compared to placebo. A meta-analysis published in the journal Phytomedicine reviewed evidence for nettle root extract in men with benign prostate enlargement and found statistically significant improvements in urinary flow and quality of life scores. These are areas of active ongoing research, not fringe claims. Nettle has also been studied for its potential role in blood sugar regulation. Animal studies and a small number of human trials have suggested effects on insulin sensitivity, though this research is still in early stages and should not be applied clinically without proper guidance. Let's address the obvious question first: the sting. The stinging hairs, called trichomes, are hollow silica needles that break on contact with skin and inject a mixture of formic acid, histamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine. That combination explains why the sensation is both sharp and lingering. Heat completely neutralizes the sting. Blanching in boiling water for 30 to 60 seconds collapses the trichomes and breaks down the active compounds. After that, nettles are as safe to handle and eat as spinach. Drying also removes the sting entirely, which is why dried nettle teas and powders require no special handling at all. For harvesting, wear thick rubber gloves and use scissors or a knife. Take only the top 4 to 6 inches of young plants. Ideally in early spring, when the leaves are smallest, most tender, and nutritionally at their peak. Once nettles flower and go to seed, the leaves develop compounds that are more irritating to the kidneys in large quantities. So spring growth is the ideal harvest window. Location matters. Avoid harvesting near roadsides, agricultural land, or anywhere that may have been treated with pesticides or exposed to runoff. Look for rural meadow edges, riverbanks, forest clearings, and the borders of organic gardens. Nettles tend to grow in nitrogen-rich soil, near old compost heaps, animal pastures, and stream edges. Once harvested, nettles keep in a bag in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. Blanch them as soon as possible after picking for the best flavor. And color. Blanched nettles can also be squeezed dry and frozen for use throughout the year. Here are 3 straightforward ways to start cooking with nettles. First, nettle soup. Sauté diced onion, garlic, and potato in butter until soft. Add vegetable stock and simmer for 10 minutes. Add a large handful of blanched nettle leaves and blend until smooth. Season with salt, pepper, and a squeeze of lemon. The result is a vivid green soup with a flavor somewhere between spinach and green tea, earthy, slightly grassy, and genuinely satisfying. Second, nettle pesto. Replace basil with blanched nettles. Blend with toasted pine nuts or walnuts, parmesan or pecorino, garlic, olive oil, and lemon juice. The flavor is deeper and more complex than standard pesto, slightly mineral with more body. It keeps well in the fridge for up to a week and works on pasta, toast, or as a sauce for grilled meat or fish. Third, nettle tea. Steep a tablespoon of dried nettle leaf in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. The flavor is mild and green, often described as tasting like fresh spring air. It's particularly valued as a mineral-rich herbal tea, providing a meaningful dose of calcium, magnesium, and iron in a form the body absorbs reasonably well. Stinging nettle is one of those plants that rewards the people willing to look past its reputation. It's nutritious, versatile, and grows freely across most of the temperate world. The barrier to eating it is genuinely low. A pair of rubber gloves and a pot of boiling water, and you have access to one of the most mineral-dense foods growing in your area. That's worth knowing about. Thanks for watching. The next video in this series covers a root vegetable that has fed more people than wheat for longer than almost any other crop, and that most Westerners have never tried.